everybody, this is Rick Prokop, and today I'm going to show you our first extension exercise for the thumb and fifth finger. And it's not a huge extension or stretch or leap. It's going to be an interval of a sixth. And with my big hand, a sixth is nothing, but to someone who can barely stretch an octave, and I don't know if you realize this, but one of the greatest pianists of the 20th century, Joseph Hoffman, his hand was so small that he couldn't even stretch a minor ninth in the Moonlight Sonata, and Steinway made him a special instrument with slightly smaller, the width of the white keys, slightly smaller. I think there were two that Steinway made that way. I don't know who got the other one. And it enabled him to play octaves more easily, okay? So if you have a hand where it's really hard to play an octave, you have what's called a tiny hand, and I outline all these different hand sizes in my book, Piano Power, which you can get at pianopower.com. All right, so enough of the shameless self-promoting. Let's go on from here. So what we're going to do is play the thumb, but I got to show you how the thumb plays. The thumb can play in all different ways. It can play with this knuckle flexed. You notice that when that happens, this extends from here to here. And then when you do that, when this knuckle extends, this portion called the metacarpal bone goes in. It actually flexes in. So there are all different ways that it plays. And the way I want you to practice this one is with this, with a straight, where the metacarpal is flexed in and this joint is straight. And it's kind of like what you would do if you gave the thumbs up sign to someone. Hey, thumbs up, see? And where the thumb is just straight from down here all the way to the tip. And then you're going to move the thumb from here, from the wrist, the base of the wrist here, and you want to keep this thumb straight. And this is how the thumb plays when it's extended. Say, see if I had something like this. If someone with small hands playing octaves, see how it's playing? See how the whole thing is moving and how the whole thing is straight. And this is where people don't realize a tremendous amount of development occurs if you have a small hand and you're practicing 5 hours a day playing Chopin and playing octaves. Okay, your thumb and pinky get a tremendous workout. With me, no. An octave is nothing. I don't get much of a workout. All right. So anyway, you want to lift that thumb. You want to straighten it, play it, and then follow through on it. So let me do it up here so you can see better. So it's straight. Whole thing's straight, the whole thing's lifting, comes down, you just follow through on it. And look at where the nail ends up. The nail ends up looking this way. Just as if someone with a small hand was playing octaves, that's what happens. The nail is looking that way. Okay, so that's how you play the thumb. And make sure to follow through, and you're just sitting on that thumb then, see? So you're gonna lift the thumb, follow through, then you're gonna come back down, and then you're going to lift your pinky, same thing. We're going to try to straighten that out, and this is called full extension when all the joints are extended, all right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to do a thing called hyperextension. You're going to go slightly above that while the finger is still really perfectly straight, and you're moving from here, okay? So it'll look like this. So I lift the thumb up, play it. Then I lift the, okay, then I play F to D. And we're going to be counting in threes. So 1, 2, 3. On 3, you're at the highest point. And that's where you're going to feel the strain. 1, 2, strain, see? And then 1, 2, 3, and then you release that strain. Then you go 1, 2, 3. There's the highest point, and that's you'll feel the most strain there because you're working the muscle. So 1, 2, 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3. See, 1, 2, 3. So up, thumb is on 3 on the highest point. 1, 2, 3, 1, and make sure the fingers are fully extended as you're doing this. Now I'm going to go through the whole thing with the right hand with the metronome on 80. And this is very slow. The slower you go, the better. Because the slower you go, the longer the finger is going to be in midair, experiencing the stress, which actually eventually builds your muscle up. So here's how it would go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, up. And then follow through. Always follow through and make sure you're balanced there on whatever note you're playing. Now we do B, G. Now do C, A. And if you're feeling stress doing that, that's good. It means your finger's really weak. If you didn't feel any stress, then the finger is really well developed. And really well developed fingers, you don't feel any stress when you're playing. That's how these virtuosos can play the most difficult music there is. It's actually not that hard for them most of the time. All right, now we're going to come back down using 6. So we're going to use E, C, D, B, A, C, G, B, F, A, E, G, D, F, and C, E. But now we're going to start with the note above and stretch to the thumb. So we have something like this. 1, 2, 3. See, I lift my thumb on 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we go up a fifth to the B, come down a sixth to the D. See? So let's do this in time on 80. 1, 2, 3. Lift up, hit, lift up, 3. Lift up on 3. Lift up. There's F and A. And you should do this during the day. This is really what you should be practicing if you want to build up that thumb so that you can, it's the first note of every group, and it's got to be able to fire exactly when you fire it at the start of each one of those groups. And the pinky's very important. You want to know that you can get from this side of your hand to this side of the hand and be comfortable on these 2 outer notes. Once you have that, it's much more comfortable to play the piano. So you really want to work on these fingers and get them up to snuff. All right, now we're going to do our left hand, and the notes are E, C, F, D. These are all 6, G, E, A, F, B, G, C, A, D, B, E, C, just like the right hand. All right, but we're starting with the pinky down here now, and we're going, so 1, 2, 3, 3, and we're stretching a sixth, then going down a fifth, stretching up a sixth, going down a fifth, see, up a sixth, down a fifth, up a sixth, down a fifth, up a sixth, and then all right, so let's try that on 80. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lift, lift, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 Stretch to the E, lift, stretch to the F, and B and G, stretch up to the G. Lift those fingers on 3, 3, 2, 3, and finish. And now we'll do the reverse. We'll start on the thumb and stretch the pinky, which is a sixth below. Come up 5, stretch down to the D from the B, come up to the A, stretch down 6th, come up to the G, stretch down, let's try this with the metronome on 80. Okay. So we're starting on middle C, stretching down to E, which is a sixth. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're comfortable at all of these points. See how I'm bouncing my wrist just to make sure I'm comfortable at these points. So practice that a lot, and remember, keep it really slow. And try to lift your fingers. If you feel a strain lifting your fingers, that's a good thing. It means they're just not strong, you know, they're not strong enough. And going at this slow pace will slowly build them up. All right, so that's it for this installment of extension of your thumb and pinky. And we'll see you next time then. Take care.